we live in the same area that some of the Cleveland Browns live in, and I drive by their house and it's just this gated house. I'm like, why not me? What the fuck's wrong with me that I can't have this gated palace that I don't
You can put a big wrought iron gate with your initials on the front of your driveway. It's all right. Nobody knows. Well, welcome to the Insignificants, the oral history of Darling Waste. I am your co-host, Jaime, and with me is Darling Waste himself, Lance Williams.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
literally that you are and always will be the only member of Darling Waste.
No, I feel like at this point you have to be like the Atticus Ross of the situation, and it's like I think for it to be Darling Waste now, it should be me and you, or it's just me, right? Like if I do it by
really
myself,
honored by that.
I think it should be like, if Jaime touches it also, then it's Darling Waste.
All right.
If Jaime doesn't touch it, it's me doing dumb
Can I
shit.
then have like emeritus after my title?
Yes.
I'm Darling Waste Emeritus.
So this is episode 4, and the title of this episode, Nothing Special.
Worst song ever recorded by Darling Waste.
It's rough. We'll jump into it, but yeah, it's not my favorite. I don't think it's the worst, but it's a bottom 5 candidate, maybe bottom 10 candidate for sure.
Oh gosh, I can't wait then to find the other 9.
I like starting podcasts off with like, this one's shit.
Well, come on, we actually said nice things last week, so we got to go back to tearing the songs apart.
So I do want to tell you, I don't think I've gotten to tell you this. I get to edit these, and I have not given you credit, or maybe I did, but I'm going to tell you again. Your comedic timing on "It's Just Nice to Be Acknowledged," you said that in the last podcast, killed me. Every time I hear it, it was my friend said, "Oh, I don't listen to podcasts, but I'm glad you guys are doing it." And I was like, "So whatever." You're like, "Yeah, it's just nice to be acknowledged." And I kind of missed it in the moment, but it's like the funniest thing. It tickles me just right.
I'm so glad.
Really love that's such a dry delivery. It was wonderful. Big news not big news, but news for Darling Waste. As far as Darling Waste goes these days, this is as big as news as you're getting this year. Is that the dog? Is that the wife?
No, that was actually the person this time, the Kate.
Okay. So big Darling Waste news is we released an album last week out of nowhere.
How did I miss this? And will we have to have another 10 episodes of the podcast
that's
as a result?
That's the thing. I was like looking forward to other things, and I'm like, we put out an entire acoustic live in Scotland album that Hot Topic put out, and because Hot Topic put it out, we never put it out on streaming, and I don't think we're big enough for them to care if we break that contract now. So I went ahead and put it on Spotify.
Well, do they have an exclusive streaming or just exclusive physical distribution?
I think it was just exclusive, because I don't think streaming existed. It was 2009, so it was like the edge of streaming. But it was just it was a $3 CD that was up at the front counter of Hot Topics for a summer. They wanted something, and we didn't want to give them new stuff, which was probably stupid, but we thought we were still sitting on gold, so we gave them an acoustic live in Scotland album. It's called Ayrshire, which is not the name of the town that it was recorded in, but it was the name of the town that I hung out in during the recording, and I liked it, so I called it that. I don't know.
Probably better than whatever the other town was actually called from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah, for sure. But then we were calling it Ayrshire when it came out, and then everyone would be like, you are not saying the name of that right. So it's Ayrshire, I believe, is the actual way that city is pronounced, not Ayr. But maybe the album is just called Ayrshire.
But, still very much to your credit that Hot Topic wanted to release material of yours. Like, that's something that very few bands can say.
And very much committing to the bit that we put out an album that we can't pronounce the name of and didn't bother to try.
Also very on brand.
Yeah. So yeah, it has Chain of the Seasons, Blind and Screaming, Filling In and Leaving Out, which I did not know we ever released that song before. We released it a couple of years ago. Learn to Be Happy, No Truer Life, Illicit Demands, I'll Be Fine, and Your Secret Stay With Me. All on Spotify now, live and acoustic. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I listened to parts of it, and I just straight up sing some Weaker Than's lyrics in the middle of one of these songs, so maybe we'll get in trouble for that too. Who knows?
I think that's all the better. The more trouble we get into, the more publicity this podcast gets, and really that's our intent is to dominate the podcast market.
Right. That's what we're here for.
That is why we're doing this, solely for this. It could be about any topic.
Sweet clicks, baby. I also want a little bit of housekeeping. I listened while editing the last episode. I almost did a little pop in to clear something up, but I thought it'd be kind of weird, so I didn't. I did a really bad job of introducing who the fuck Kevin Merrill was. I was just like, Kevin Merrill, and he talked for a while, and we're like, there was Kevin Merrill.
And he does deserve credit. He's been a big part of this.
Yeah. So I did a bad job introducing him. Kevin was in a high school pop punk band when we first met, and he's gone on to have a 20-year career as an artist named Dearborn, so please check him out. We got sidetracked on marketing and stuff after Kevin's thing. So I did want to at least acknowledge his Walmart story as well. We did, in fact, get kicked out of that Walmart. I believe that might have been the very first time Darling Waste was kicked out of a Walmart. It would go on to happen another 100 times. And that was, we were on tour with Bunny. Do you remember Bunny, the bass player?
I do.
Yeah, so it's a little bit later, but yeah, Bunny was our bass player, and Bunny was the one who was sword fighting. And from my memory of it, we thought it was funny because there was a barrel with these not sausages. What are they called? Not kielbasa, pepperoni. Okay. Pepperoni sticks. Yeah. It was a barrel of pepperoni sticks. So we thought they were going to be really long because it was the barrel went to the ground. Yep. But the barrel was only 9 inches deep. So when we pulled out, we're like, oh, and we were like, haha, and we kind of flipped him. And I will say this security guard lost his mind on us for look how small these are. He's like, get the hell out of here right now. And I do remember he was wearing camouflage pants, and my whole bit was, Jesus Christ, this guy's floating. And he never got it. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's a floating torso.
I'm like, oh my God, there's half a man coming at us. And he just could not figure out what the joke was, and he was getting angrier and angrier.
You gotta love security guards.
Yeah. And why did rural West Virginia have a security guard at a Walmart? What's going on?
The pepperoni sticks. I mean, that's hot commodity out there. They can't lose any of those.
And Kevin also mentioned touring with us and how he slept on his parents' floor and stuff. And that is a big thing that I had kind of forgotten about a little bit, is how much we relied on our friends and fans and their parents to let us sleep on their couch and stuff. And I also wanted to bring up, do you remember very early we were using couchsurfer.net? Well, do you remember that website?
I don't, but that sounds so dirty now.
Yeah. So we had a thing called the Vice President Approves. So we had this thing called couchsurfer.net, and you would just go on there, and every city people could put a thing. It was almost like an Airbnb, but for free, and people were still in the house. And you would just say, hey, my band's coming through. There's 4 of us. We're nice people. Here's some recommendations. You had to have a recommendation from people who were also on Couchsurfer, and then they would host you. And so we met a lot of people that were very cool through couchsurfer.net. And then that also reminded me, do you remember the name of the website that we used to book our tours? There used to be a website, and every band would put up, here's where we've played, here's their contact information. It was called bookyourownfuckinglife.com. And bookyourownfuckinglife.com.
The internet was so much better back then.
It was so much cooler, right? Oh, this isn't even in my notes, but this is the thing that happened. I don't know if it was the last episode or 2 episodes ago, I mentioned that my ex had put it was last episode. I mentioned my ex put Darling Waste on MySpace really early, and I name dropped that we were on there, and Cowboy Club, and Makeout Club, and Vampire Freaks. The creator of MakeOutClub.com reached out to me. This got back to him with only 22 listens, so I don't know how this even happened.
But although, said, come on, let's be honest about your network of people would absolutely reach back to him in two steps of Kevin Bacon. You don't even need a full 7 to get.
So, and he sent me a very short, very nice note that said, hey, I'm the creator of MakeOutClub.com. It makes me very happy that in 2025 you're keeping the memory of such a great community alive. We did ask if people liked the songs cut up or all together. I only had 2 people who both said they don't love cut up, but they understand, and then they're okay if we continue it. So
I think we should use it as a change of pace every now and again. But
Well, I'm just worried about copyright strikes, particularly on YouTube. I think our shit's going to get all taken down in one fell swoop 3 years from now or 8 years from now.
Because whoever is hosting the current album version for distribution.
Yeah, or just, yeah, exactly. Or even if they're not, I could still see them just being like, oh, we just, like, for instance, TikTok did that, right? Like, I made a billion TikToks where I play a song and talk about it, and then a year later they deleted all of it without any notice and took away all of that because they're like, oh, we changed how we do it, and you can't play full songs on here anymore. I can see YouTube just deciding that's a thing,
Gotcha. Well, whatever you feel is best makes sense to me.
So, yeah, so I think, all right, I think we can hop into the song, unless you have anything major that you want to talk about. So I think now, here at this part, we can say we are doing Nothing Special, track 4 off our first album, The Truth About Lies. You can find it anywhere you like to listen to music. So if you would like to pause now and go listen to the song, we're about to start talking about the song. And if you would like to have heard the song first before we talk about it, I also got to complain about that. Someone's like, you guys talk so much about the song before you play it that I have to go back and listen to you guys talk about it after I hear it to know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, that is a valid point, I suppose.
Fair.
But we're not going to stop. So you have to go do the homework. Just pause it now. Go listen to Nothing Special, and then come back. Maybe get a drink. Maybe go to the bathroom. Then come back, Don't be like Jaime, who hurts themselves physically by not going to the bathroom while watching and listening to media.
Do you remember which movie that was?
Batman Begins.
No,
right?
no. Fuck. So, this was the first Michael Bay Transformers movie, and I had such a large, one of those like 64-ounce sodas, and the movie sucks. I mean, let's be honest. I'm born in 1980. I love G1.
We can do a whole podcast on nitpicks of,
but the movie sucks.
It's awful.
So sitting through hour after hour of this sucky movie, and I just like have to go to the bathroom. And I keep being like, okay, this is the final end battle. It's going to be worth it. I can't miss anything of it. And the final end battle lasts like an hour and a half with no breaks. By the time the movie was over and I went to the bathroom, I'm standing there at the urinal, back when I would stand at urinals, and thankfully this is over, so this whole thing probably wouldn't happen in the future. But I'm standing at the urinal literally hyperventilating because of the amount of piss coming out of me and how much my kidney hurts, that I literally, by the time I was finally able to be done urinating, wash my hands, I had to sit down on a bench and try not to pass out in the movie theater. Because goddamn Michael Bay.
Here's my I love that story so much. Here's my very quick critiques of the first Transformers movie that are super ice cold takes in 2025.
Okay.
1, I don't know why Shia LaBeouf says every single line like he fucking hates everyone he's talking to. Oh, hello.
Oh,
aha!
Hey,
I saw.
Kate made a visit into the podcast.
Sorry. Hi.
Hi. So he delivers every line like he fucking hates the person he's talking to. He has no charisma with Megan Fox at all.
All right, can I take a segue on Shia LaBeouf, whom I dislike strongly as an actor?
Yep. Sure.
You know who the new Shia LaBeouf is, who I also strongly dislike as an actor?
Okay, hold on. Let me take a guess.
Oh, yeah.
A new actor.
And then I'm going to tell you a headline that I just read the other day that makes me want to throttle somebody.
Okay, I if it was 2 or 3 years ago, I'd say it was the guy from The Flash, but I think that's too old. No. Timmy Charlemagne.
Not his name, but yes. Chalamet, yes.
I did it.
I like that you called him Charlemagne. I think Charlemagne might be a better actor. But, oh my gosh, I saw an article that headlined, like, this person is now the new leading face of science fiction. And I go to click on it, all excited, thinking, all right, it's either going to be somebody I love or it's going to be Ryan Gosling, who I don't love. And then it's Timothy effing Chalamet. And I'm that's the only thing worse than Ryan Gosling.
Dune, right?
He's apparently in Dune. I did see the first one. Not worth it. Go back and watch the old one.
Okay. So now that I don't know why we would stall for someone to listen to our songs since they told them to pause it.
It was probably just about the right amount of time.
Yeah, we're like, thank God those fucking guys are gone and we can talk about stuff we want to talk about. Okay, so this week is Nothing Special, both in song and in podcast. Do you remember? Okay. Before you listened to it for this, did you remember this song at all? Do you have any memory of this song?
Nope. When hearing it, I had a vague recollection I had heard it before, but otherwise I had no memory of the song. And I am curious for the end, when you sort of go through your standard questions, whether or not you ever played this live. But you can leave us on a cliffhanger for now if you want.
Okay. So my memories of this song are hilarious. Well, one's funny, one's just here's the nitty gritty stuff. This was a Darling Waste song. It was not a song for my high school band. It was definitely a second batch of songs that I wrote. I was still trying to figure out what Darling Waste was going to be. I got a publicist very early in my career named Mike Farley. Do you remember Mike Farley?
Mike, I do.
Yeah. So Mike was like kind of this like Cleveland local legend pop guy. Q104 always let him open for every 90s pop band that came through. So I remember I thought this was like a push away from that 90s alt rock sound, and he was kind of like wanting me to get more radio friendly. So this was definitely my attempt to like kind of be a Mike Farley kind of song, I think, like this radio friendly Q104 type songs. Q104, by the way, is a Cleveland station that only plays soccer mom songs.
So what I was going to say, and not the cool soccer mommy, because if you don't know soccer mommy, she's
great.
Phenomenal. But
yeah, let's
putting
make a
that
soccer
aside,
mommy podcast,
right?
Let's just talk about her instead.
Right? She's great. But it's really interesting you say that, you were going for sort of a more radio friendly pop thing, but also on a mommy station, because my first impression of this song is it sounds more 93 than 2003.
100%. 100%. One time we toured with Blessed Union of Souls, if you remember them, for about 6 or 7 days, much later into our career. And I actually thought about breaking this song out because it was like our most Blessed Union of Souls type song.
Yeah.
We did not. So here's my funny thing about the song. I remember, I don't know if we talked about this yet or not, but I used the longest job I've ever held in my life was roller skate DJ at a roller skating rink. I worked there for like 7 years or something. To this day, I've never worked at a job longer than that. So on Saturdays, we would do session after session after session. I was there all day, all night. And I remember bringing this in on CDR while we were recording it, probably just like a daily of it. And everyone else left to go get lunch in between the sessions. And I remember like turning on all the skate lights and putting it on and just blasting it and standing in the middle of this skating rink and being like, I'm going to be fucking famous.
And this was the song that was going to do it.
The song. I really thought this was my breakthrough song when I was like 22 or something. And I was like, this is it. I have found my fucking sound. I am about to blow the fuck up. Holy shit. And just delusional as hell. Once this comes out. I did
have a thought listening to this. So I'm going to move my recommendations up early because it ties into this thought. Okay. So the band Acceptance released Phantoms 20, a complete re-recording and reimagining of their album Phantoms 20 years later. Lots of great guest vocals, things like that. Like totally worth checking out. Really good.
There's a band called Acceptance that you like from 20 years ago?
Yep.
The fuck do I not know about this?
I didn't know about them either until I heard about this album. Then I went back to listen to the original version.
I've never even heard of them.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Were in the same
toured
scene
with
as
Juliana Theory, Anne Berlin,
they were like
Finch,
Anne Berlin
Forever.
Yep.
They're Christian. They played Cornerstone Festival.
Vaguely. They don't explicitly call themselves that, but very much the Anne Berlin vein. And I've listened to their other albums. Phantoms is the album that's worth listening to, but Phantoms 20, the remake, very, very, very cool rethinking. And that got me thinking about this song, saying, could this be re-recorded and reconceptualized?
I thought about it today. I actually was thinking, I was listening to it, I'm like, if I was a producer and someone brought me this dog shit, like, can I be like, all right, we're just going to put a backbeat to it and we're going to shove this song.
So here's my thing to you. When my basement is done and I finally have all my recording stuff set back up, let's set a tempo and we each independently record our own version of it and then share stems and blind combine random shit.
Absolutely. Yours will be this awesome rock version and mine will be a 12-minute Radiohead song.
Perfect. Perfect.
I'll just reverb everything to 1,000,000 and play it down a hall or something.
I love it. But you know what? There's something here. There's something in it. Like, it was interesting listening to it. I really struggled with our friend Baltramic, or whatever his name is, the drummer.
Oh, is this who drums this?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Okay.
I'm so sorry to make not make fun of it, make light of his effort on this, but I really struggled with that in this song, and I wondered how a different level of drumming, even with the same basic arrangement, might have changed my feelings on the song. Maybe it's still dated, but it was so loosely performed that really undercut it for me.
Well, and yeah, very, very true. And I believe, because we didn't realize when we went into the studio that this song was two different tempos when we rehearsed it. Mm-hmm. We just were jamming, and that's how it happened.
Yeah.
So I think when we went in to play with this guy, I do have a memory of there was just at that studio, not yours, but at theirs, everything was a tape, so there was no way to. So we basically just play the song, stop, have him count in, start the next part, and then try to jam them together on tape. Yep. Right, was how we were doing it, because, and you can just hear it. You can hear it. Yeah. He's like click, 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 new part of the song, right?
Yeah. And there's actually one point where I wrote a note. I was like, is that a click track I'm hearing in the background? Or it may have been lingering, like headphone bleed of his click in or something.
So that's, it
was not recorded with the click track, even a variable tempo click track, to the best of your memory?
No, it probably was. It probably was. I believe they were forcing us to play to a click which we'd never, ever, ever done.
Gotcha.
Okay, so do you want to start? Just jump into it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Here we go. Nothing special. Track 4. Yeah, the line, but there's a line buzz in the clicking. I don't know. We didn't cut that out because we wanted to feel live. I don't know. Weird that the organ comes in on the verse instead of the beginning. You think you'd want a bunch of instruments at the beginning of that song,
right? And then hollow it out a little bit, but still keep like one thread through it.
Yeah, it's weird that we like brought in the organ instead of. I thought it should have a big like wallflowers kind of like.
That's a good parallel to this song. Yes.
Yeah, right. That's definitely where we were kind of living there. And
it's always hard for me when I listen to these, because I'm like listening to my mixing technique from 20 some odd years ago, and I'm like, how did I allow that snare sound to get
it's a bright snare.
It's bright. It's more ring. There's no like really real like crack and depth and snare sound to it. It's just very bright but hollow sound. So
it's still
definitely would do it differently.
It's still a clean sounding mix though.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right.
I was kind of surprised by it.
I will say throughout this whole song, and then really listening through this album, I really like, and you're going to laugh, I really like your bass playing, and I like that there's more going on. Now, maybe there's occasionally too much going on, but like I like that the bass is actually doing some melodic things, and I don't think there's enough of that happening in a lot of sort of the alt-rocky, emo, post-punky, like the bass is sort of
definitely
been simplified.
Switched to just simplified with a pick and just kind of playing the chord, the notes.
But I want to give you credit for there's times where like, oh yeah, this really works.
Not going out of that intro though. It goes
no.
At one point in my life, I was vain enough to think that I could touch you and make you smile. But now that we're face to face, those feelings have been replaced, and I still see the sadness in your eyes.
I'm reading my notes here, and the first thing I was just like laughing, going, I really actually wrote, I didn't even remember this song. Right in my notes as I was looking.
Is this song?
I really, to this day, I just like have vague memory of this song. But it was interesting as we were listening to that, I was keeping my foot going with the tempo, and I was getting ready to come in with the next part. I don't know that you'd have to do two different tempos for this song.
No, I don't know why we did.
Yeah, I really think they're close enough. You could find where it was more seamless.
100%. So my thoughts on this are, I can hear me leading the band with my bass. Like every time I start, I'm like do 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 do, like here we go, and I can hear all the guitars being slightly unsure of the chord changes. It's definitely like the bass player knows the song, everybody else attempting to find the song.
There was an overall looseness, not in the like intentionally loose vibey way, but like the song just didn't gel or come together.
Right.
In terms of the performance aspect.
Yeah, this is definitely one in a later era we would have been like, well, this didn't work, move on.
I'm wondering, so I'm thinking about, you made that comment maybe in the second episode about your dad hearing your vocal delivery and saying, oh, this didn't really sound like you, whatever else. I'm wondering what you're feeling about this, because I felt like this was a different vocal version than we heard on the prior two songs. And I'm just curious what you thought is reflecting on it.
So three songs that I've sang so far on this album: Drive Away, Fair Under Finger, and now this one. Three completely different voices. Drive Away is emo Lance, Fair Under Finger is hard rock Lance, and this is Matchbox 20 Lance. You can tell I'm just like emulating people that I think are neat. So now, and also way too broad lyrics. You can tell I'm just writing nonsense to write nonsense.
Well, I don't want it to always be us trashing your music, because I really love a lot of your music. It's obviously harder early on.
No, it's fine.
But I did make a note that a lot of really repetitive lyrics in this song, and also there's some clearly, let's call them Counting Crows inspired lyrics.
The bridge is just
the fading in and fading out, fading endlessly.
Can I do a fucking Counting Crows bridge? Is all this? I think that was the reason So this is literally three songs. It's the verse is a song by itself that these verses do not go with the chorus. There is a chorus, and then there's Lance's doing live Counting Crows 8-minute bridge.
Yep.
This was a mess. All right, here's the chorus.
Like standing, so I guess I'll just sit here. And I don't feel like talking, so I guess that I'll just stare. And I don't need this in my life. I loved you for no reason, but I am nothing special. I am nothing special. I'm nothing special.
I really feel like the lyrics to the chorus are much older than the lyrics to the verses. It sounds like high school Lance at a party. It's like, I'm not going to stand. I'm just going to sit over here. I'm not going to talk. Let me stare. And then there's no other rhymes. So I'm just going to say I'm nothing special. And it just very much sounds like high school Lance writing.
Well, and I will say, I have always loved your lyric writing. And, in sessions in our later years, I would push you hard. If I didn't like a line, I was going to challenge you, because I know what you're capable of. Definitely your growth from this album lyrically to Manifest was an immense change and growth in you.
Yeah, that was a very, thank you. And that was a very embarrassing chorus. So do you remember, I don't know if you remember this, by the way, but I still use this today. I am incapable of taking a compliment. And someone will go, hey, you did a good job. And I go, no, I didn't. I messed this up, and this thing fucking sucked, and the sound was awful, and no one was into it, and I wasn't. And you're like, hey, you could just say thanks. And I still use
such an ass sometimes.
But it's correct. It's the correct thing. I don't have to talk about what was wrong for 5 minutes. I can just go, thanks. And I have used that my whole life. When someone goes, hey, good job, I'm like, well, actually, and I'm like, you know what, thanks. Appreciate it. So I that was a life lesson that you did teach me, to not throw off on every fucking thing that's bothering me for 3 minutes when someone tries to give me a passing compliment.
Because we're both brutal to ourselves inside, right? And all we hear is what we could have done better or different in any situation in life. So I feel you on that. It's probably as much me giving myself advice as me giving you advice.
Well, and the other thing I have a problem with too is I over-explain the fuck out of everything, and then I realize I'm doing it, so I continue explaining to explain why I'm explaining the explanation longer than it needs to be, to make sure you understand the nuance of why I'm continuing on. Drive my wife nuts.
So speaking of wives and that very statement, Kate the other day was saying how much she wished that we lived nearer to each other, because she would just like to spend more time with you and like become direct friends with you and stuff like that. And I'm listening to you talk about the over-explaining, going, oh my gosh, did I just marry Lance? Because hey, who I love to death, her brain just has to over-explain, and I love it about her. Like, I genuinely love it about her, and I love watching her, explain all the very things that I already know about her that she doesn't need to reassure me about, and it's so adorable and cute. And I'm realizing, oh yeah, she's just you like that, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I could listen to you talk forever. Like, it's one of the things about our friendship. I'm like, I love it. I could just sit and listen and enjoy, and I don't have to do any work. It's great.
All right, here we go. Second verse, a little musical interlude, then second verse. Okay, let's talk about this. Right-hand panned high up acoustic. Is that you capoed, or is that your mandolin?
I am fairly confident I did not play anything on this song. I can run and grab the liner notes real quick if you want.
No, you know what? I used to own a 12-string.
Yeah,
I wonder if that's the 12-string I'm hearing. Thank God she's gone. Am I right? Also, Jamie calls stopping and starting the songs chunking it on the last podcast. I really like that. Let's chunk this motherfucker. Oh, Jamie's back. All right, everyone be quiet. Hey.
All right.
I talked about you the entire time you were gone.
Oh, my gosh. I hope.
I just, on the last one, you called stopping and starting the song chunking it, and I think that was really funny. So let's chunk this motherfucker.
So that is such an educator in me. That's like a literal education term for how we'll take a larger thing for kids and we'll break it into smaller chunks, and we'll actually even write this needs to be chunked into parts no longer than. So day job is just bleeding in. Nothing special. There is you, and there is the drummer, and that is it. You played and sang 100% on this.
Oh, no wonder. I was actually thinking the electric guitar is being hit so goddamn hard for this song for no reason. Okay, that it's all me. That makes so much sense.
It is all you other than the drummer.
And it's all timed weird, and no one is following along. And yeah, that makes
I love that you're thinking the bass player is leading the band, but the band doesn't know what to do, but you are the band.
The bass player's me, and I'm leading myself, trying to. I think I recorded this song with a bass and a scratch vocal and a click, and then built it from there, is what it sounds like to me. What an idiot. All right, here we go. Also, I hate this verse too. I hate this song, but here I hate this verse. This is the like Holden Caulfield in me going everything. Yeah, and fuck that book and that guy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
I hate it.
And you know what?
I'm so
proud of Catcher in the Rye.
That's right.
And I am so proud of my daughter for also hating that book, and for all the right reasons. I raised her well.
Pretentious asshole, man.
Funny, though, because my band of the same era was called the Margot Catcher, referencing Catcher in the Rye, but not because of the book.
No, you're referencing...
Can you remember the...
Yes, it's Margot from... Not Paul Thomas Anderson.
No,
it's the other guy.
Margot Tenenbaum from the Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah, that's right.
The movie. But The Catcher is a reference to Catcher in the Rye in the movie The Good Girl with Jennifer Aniston and Jake Gyllenhaal, where Jennifer Aniston calls him Catcher because his name is actually like Holden. And he says, oh, it's like from whatever. And so she calls him Catcher. And so I thought that was just really funny at the time. So that's where that came from.
Right.
So fuck that book, but I used it in my band name anyway.
Fair enough. Yeah, man. But yeah, this next verse is, I did this a lot. Even later in my career, I was a victim of that guy that likes you fucking sucks, and I'm way cooler than him.
Which, true.
The girls that like me aren't cool, baby. Only you are. I do that a lot in my songs, even late in my career. Because when I do shows, I have to sing lines like that, like at least 5 times in 9 songs, where I'm like, no one gets you like me, or no one gets me like you, or no one gets us like us. It's like, Jesus Christ, how many times did I come back to this? And I meant it. Like, that's the thing. I'm not fucking around. Like, I thought I was the person that understood. But yeah, this is everything he's ever said was stolen from some book he's read, while everything I told you came from my heart.
Okay, let's just pause for a moment and say, actually, that line is some kind of hot. I just need to own that is actually some kind of a hot line.
Everything he's he's ever said was stolen from some book he's read, while everything I told you came from my heart. We're not talking anymore, it's not the same, not like before, and it's so sad we've grown so far apart.
Also, I will say I like the octave backing vocal, or the harmony backing vocal there.
That's funny because I was going to make you defend how loud you have that backing vocal.
Oh, it's because I love it.
It's the same volume as the lead.
I mean, listen to any of my own albums. I put Andrea's backing vocals way up there.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's cool. I like it too.
I love
but
a good backing vocal.
yeah, I noticed that
Okay,
too when it comes out. I'm like,
so-
hello. This guy just walked in the room.
It's like, yeah, turn up to 11.
I don't feel like standing, so I guess I'll just sit here. And I don't feel like talking, so I guess that I'll just stare. And I don't need this in my life. I love you for no reason, but I am nothing special. I am nothing special. I am nothing
All right, so we wrote the second chorus. You think, okay, 2 verses, 2 choruses, we're done. We're almost out of this song. We are 2 minutes into a 5-minute song.
And we are also 0 solos into a 2 solo song.
So this means this is me soloing.
Yes, both of
By
them.
default.
Do you know where the other solo is in this song?
I don't.
Oh,
I did-
wait till we get there.
In fairness, I didn't listen to the whole song this week. I stopped. I'm like, I got it. All right. This makes sense. It's me because I can tell it's me. All right, here we go. I stand by it.
I stand by
but
that solo too.
It wasn't bad, especially for me not knowing how to play guitar. That's
Well,
fine.
and for thinking, okay, we're going to put in a guitar solo, but it can't be like an 80s Van Halen solo.
Right. All right. Here we go into a. I'm just going to let the whole thing play. I think this is a 2-minute bridge.
And I said, I want to see you again.
Why do I sound like Lane Staley? I'm the man in the box.
Man, that would have been cool.
Right.
I did not appreciate them at the time, but as I got older, I learned to really appreciate.
No, I'm not appreciating him.
Still no
I've
Alice
never
in
gotten
Chains
there.
fan?
No.
Okay.
No. All right, here we
I
go.
said, I want to see you again. I want to come over and just see you. And she said, I don't think that's such a great idea. You know I don't ever want to see you again. And I said, when can I see you again? I want to come over. I want to see you again. See you again. And she said, I know I don't ever want to see you again. I don't think that this is right. And no, you know we can't be friends. And I said, no, you can't do this to me. You can't keep fading in and out and fading endlessly. And she said, no, you can't do this to my life. You can't keep waltzing in and out whenever the mood hits you right.
One, I'm going to stand by it. Whatever. I like Counting Crows, and I liked that. I'll die on it. I'm okay with it. 2, I remember having my name in this, and someone, perhaps you, maybe at the other studio, maybe someone in my life convinced me that was stupid and it would have been awesome. And she says, I don't think that this is right. And no, you know, we can't be friends. The original take of that was, I don't think that this is right. And Lance, you know, we can't be friends. That would have been fucking cool. The no-no-nos would have been real cool if any of us were on the same tempo. But I liked them. But yeah.
But I agree. I like those stabs too.
Yeah, and by us, I mean me over and over and over, somehow not being in the same tempo. How do I not have the same inner rhythm every time? You'd think I would just be in sync with myself at least. Also, I do remember, while I was listening to this, we figured out how to speed up a click track at the other studio. So we're actually playing to a progressively speeding up click track, which we don't go into anything fast. We go back to the original tempo. So why? We start out slow. It's not slow, but at the chorus tempo. We speed up to go back to the chorus tempo, making the chorus sound way slow and shitty. What was the point?
You know, so I'm going to start where you started, which is, all right, I'm okay with it, right? But what I have to say is what kept occurring to me was listening to the lyrics going, this is essentially like the lyrical version of a third grade book report. So first this person said this, and then this person said this, but then they didn't do this. And it was like, oh my gosh, it's, you know, so, you know.
It's very 90s, very Counting Crows, every Matchbox 20 song is like, you know, she said, do you want to come over tonight? It's 3 a.m. and I'm lonely. And I said, no, I can't come. You know, it's literally just stealing from that. I said, she said of Counting Crows and Matchbox 20, which I think he was.
You're right. That third person quoting is very much that era.
Yeah, she says it's cold outside and hands me my raincoat.
So interestingly, I did hear those clicks again in the pause before coming to the chorus, and I'm thinking, like, why didn't I find a creative way to hide those or edit them out and extend the fade out of the previous notes so that we wouldn't have to use them? Definitely something I would fix in future editing. My
guess is I probably liked them.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to blame me. I was like, you know, because we go, and it stops, and it's like, click, because I probably thought it was fucking awesome.
But see, if we had added actual stick clicks, like a drummer clicking in, that I'd be cool with.
You don't think that's the drummer?
I think this is headphone bleed.
Let's listen to it again. I think it's overhead bleed.
Singing and out whenever the mood hits you right. And I don't feel like standing.
Yeah, you're right. That's probably
but
bleed.
If they were overhead bleed, then we should have jacked that shit up. And if not, we could have actually just gone into the live room, set up some overheads, done a clicker to ourselves, and you know,
that's probably my vocal headphones.
That's what I'm wondering. Especially if you wore, I can't remember. Did you always wear one ear off?
I used to wear one off like an idiot. Yeah. All right, moving on. This is just choruses till the end. I'll probably just play it.
So I guess I'll just sit.
No, you said there's another. Do I just guitar solo over the chorus? All right, here we go.
I don't feel like standing, so I guess I'll just sit here. And I don't feel like talking, so I guess that I'll just stare. And I don't need this in my life. I love you for a reason, but I am nothing special. I am nothing special, and I don't feel like standing, so I guess I'll just sit here. And I don't feel like talking, so I guess that I'll just stare. And I don't need this in my life. I loved you for a reason, but I am nothing special. I am nothing special. I am nothing special.
What a surprise. Every song ever. I thought it was going to be right there. I thought it was going to go, I'm nothing special, bam. So we just outro a guitar solo? Soloed on an acoustic at the end of this?
That's what I'm thinking. I
just fucked around on an acoustic guitar,
right?
For no
and
reason.
So I think I buried it. Like we could have put it up and centered it, or made it a solo. But I just sort of buried it in there.
That song could have lost, even with the long ass thing there, the long ass bridge. I didn't need a double chorus, and we could have just fucking ended that song after the first chorus coming out of it or something.
Yeah, I think you could have done that. I think, did you do a second chorus before the bridge, or did you go straight into the bridge from the second chorus?
No, so we did a second chorus. We could have went straight to the bridge, huh?
I think that could have been cool. And I also think the bridge could have been slightly shortened.
Never.
Fair.
No,
all bridge. Nothing but bridge.
There was one part of the bridge where I'm like, yeah, we could have went to the no, like a little earlier there. I was ready for it, and it didn't happen for another iteration. So you're correct. Yeah. So we now answered, was the song too long for Jamie? Yes. By probably 2 minutes or by 5 minutes.
Yeah, see how well, yeah. All right, but so 5 minutes, 11 seconds. I can stretch up to 3.5 minutes. So I think that 2 minutes too long is about the right ballpark for me. All right, so I'm thinking about this album as a whole, and there is a lot of variation across the songs, but I do like that you were like trying different things and pushing yourself in different ways, and it's charming in its own way.
Yeah, I feel like even when it came out, we were like, yep, that's the first one. Let's move on to the second one fast. Like, we were finding our footing, and we sold a bunch of copies of this, and we use it as a calling card. But I
agree. Like, very much by the time you and I started working together and getting through this and learning our rhythm, we came out of it ready to do and think about a next album in a very different way. And we really did approach Manifest in an entirely different way than we approached any of the other albums.
No, for sure. Yeah, I think even later in our career, as I said, this one, is off of a lot of the streaming services. And we made an effort when we were talking to labels and stuff. We changed it to The Truth About Lies, parentheses, a collection of early songs was what it was called for years, because we didn't want people to know that this was like we started acting like the second album was our debut album, know, and we're like, oh yeah, that's the early work. That's just a collection of demos and stuff we were doing, when we first started. So have we played it live? I think we played it on the first tour. Because do you not think? Because it's so easy.
I don't think so. However, all my notes are in a box from the house move, so at some point I will be able to dig them out and see if I have the chord changes and other stuff for this.
So I know for a fact I was playing it live acoustically before I put a band together.
Okay.
And that's why it was so formed, but was not to any tempo or anything, because I could just stop and just jam or do whatever, Yeah. So I do know, but yeah, once this record was out, I never played it again. If we didn't play it on the first tour, we never played it. How it was received, no one has ever mentioned this song once to me ever in my lifetime. Had we not done this podcast, I would continue not remembering it existed. So there you go. This one is one that is not even offensive enough to be remembered. It's just nothing special.
Terrible. But really well played, sir.
Okay. Do you want to get on to Rex?
Well, I did my rec, which was the Phantoms 20 re-record album by Acceptance. I strongly recommend that, and strongly recommend people go back to that album Acceptance, the original version from 20 years ago. Both are excellent in their own way. So that's my recommendation. What about yours?
I will listen to them for sure. So I have a couple recommendations. I'm not going to go crazy on describing each of them because they're all really famous things. I forgot about HBO Max. I just haven't watched it in a year, so I went on there to see what the fuck's going on with HBO Max.
Well, you can't be blamed for that, given that they've changed their name 7 times since, and only to just go back to HBO Max.
They got bullied into just being HBO Max again. I love it.
They're like the Cracker Barrel of streaming networks. So.
2 movies that were incredibly hyped, like insanely hyped. I watched Weapons and I watched Sinners, which are 2 of the most hyped fucking movies on the planet. I recommend both of them. They're fine.
Great.
It's a soft rec. Weapons is good if you turn your brain off, and Sinners, it literally should have been called From Dusk Till Dawn for Sinners, because it's just From Dusk Till Dawn. Like From Dusk Till Dawn, Delta Blues would have been the name of that movie if I was doing it. And then I watched the entire season of Creature Commandos, a cartoon from whatever his name is, James Gunn. It's James Gunn. It's he makes you like characters you shouldn't give a shit about. That's my take on every James Gunn thing he's ever done is, oh man, he's good at writing characters. I don't love his sense of humor. Yeah, and then the last thing is I watched the first 3 episodes of The Chair Company, which I fucking love. That's my strong recommendation. Okay. It's Tim Robinson, who does I Think You Should Leave, and he was on SNL. He's very cringy comedy, uncomfortable comedy. If you don't like that kind of stuff, you don't like him. But I love Tim Robinson, and this show is fucking weird. It's like a prestige HBO drama, shot great with a mystery, but just with Tim Robinson starring in it, being cringy and weird as fuck. But the show is not leaning into it at all. He's just so out of place in this very prestige mystery about a chair company. I really, really enjoy it. So it's just a guy doing awkward comedy over a very serious prestige TV show.
Kate and I will have to give that a try. That sounds like something she might really enjoy.
I really liked it. By the beginning of the first episode if you're into it or not.
Cool.
So that's it. Next week, The Truth About Lies, the song of the title of the thing. But awesome. So that's it. We went long as hell. I'm sorry. But we have successfully talked about one of the worst songs Darling Waist ever made.
And while recording the longest podcast we've recorded to date.
Damn it. And I went too long last time. All right. Next week, we're going to be brief.
Okay, we're going to be brief. It's been awesome hanging with you. I love doing this. Yeah. Thank you so much for including me.
Love you. I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Bye.
Yeah, bye.